Hello, hello again to Does It Resonate with You? And I'm excited today because we're going to do Does It Resonate with Us? Ah,
That's
John
a
and I have found a
great
couple
title.
of lists, right? We found
Yep.
a couple of lists. We're going to go through, those lists, folks, those lists where, 5 ways to do this or 10 ways to do that or 5 of these things or 10 of those things. So that is what we're going to talk about today. So we didn't actually agree who was going to go first. Do you want to go first, John?
I think you should go first, Angie.
Okay. All right then. The first one I have is things eight things. Oh my gosh. 8 ways to make your life more exciting and interesting. 8 ways to make your life more exciting and interesting. Sometimes. So the very first one is do things that bring you joy. And I have to tell you, I was excited when I saw this one because I remember I did the expo, right?
Yep.
Folks, and some of you
Yeah, the
folks
Witches'
listening
Night
might
Out, I
have been
think.
there with me. Yeah, Witches Night Out. The idea of things that bring you joy came up in the readings, like with nearly everyone I read for,
Sweet.
and at least half of them said, "I don't even know what gives me joy.
Really? Wow.
I don't know what joy is."
Holy cow. We have some work to
Wow.
do, my friend.
Yes. I mean, it's wow.
Oh,
Right?
I'm
So,
I'm just getting this feeling we're a lot worse off than I thought we were.
well, I mean, I did set a very specific intention to draw very specific people to me,
Yeah.
So it's no surprise that there were multiple people that said that, but
Yep.
no, I think you're right. I think that there's a lot going on in the world and a lot of things to be afraid of and a lot of things to be nervous about and a lot of things to be anxious about.
But
And
what an opportunity,
right,
right? To spread joy.
right. And those energies are so counter to joy,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
So oh yeah, we could do that. We could do a whole show about things that bring us joy,
Oh
right?
man.
That'd be fun. I
You
mean,
know,
there's
I
so
yeah,
much. Like
totally.
it's so big, but it's so little. Like what brings me joy? Giant things that are supposed to be little and little things that are supposed to be giant. I love it. Animals with glasses. Joy.
Oh,
Like that
that's
just
funny.
brings me
Yep.
pure
Yep.
unadulterated joy. So I think that one tick tick resonates with me.
Yep. I would agree. Me
Do
too.
things that bring you joy, and that is 8 ways to make your life more exciting and interesting. And I mean, joy gives you something to look forward to, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
So let's do that. Um, let me just 8 ways to make your life more exciting. There we go. We'll put that one up instead. All right. The next one is try something new. I mean, try something new. I tell you what, I have a little bit of anxiety walking into a place I've never been in before. I don't like to go places I've never been by myself.
Mm.
If somebody goes with me, I'm good, but I'm isn't that something? Like,
I'll tell you something. I'm a pretty good networker. I like being in
yeah,
networking
you
events.
do.
I went to an event, and this was part of a conference where I had to join the networking mixer at the beginning, and I didn't know anyone, and it was atrocious. I had the worst time ever there,
Gosh.
and
Wow.
and it was astounding both that that happened and that I really didn't know what to do to fix it. So yes, I would say I'm with you on your fear of certain kinds of things that I have to go to alone.
Yeah, that I mean, so try something new. So definitely if it's out and about and it involves peopling, I'm gonna say that doesn't really resonate with
Yep.
me. But maybe try some new kind of food or
Let's say you try a new restaurant of your favorite food. That
yeah,
would
maybe.
that
And
I could
and you know what? I have to tell you that and you can ask my friend because I go out to eat with my friend every Friday. tr- Trying new places around here has not panned out very well, to be honest. I don't know what's going on out there. So I'm going to say,
okay.
try something new. I don't know. I don't know if I think it's important that we do try new things, but I'm not sure it makes my life more exciting and interesting. That's what
Right.
I'm going to say on that
Right.
one. Okay, the next one, find your purpose. I guess it depends, If my purpose was to be a tax guy, I don't know how exciting and interesting that would be. I mean, my
Well,
purpose is a little more,
I think part of it, it's hard for us to evaluate that one because you and I have already, I think, we already know our purpose, right?
yeah, that is true.
And
That
if you
is
didn't
true.
know your purpose and then you suddenly found it, we'd be like, finally.
It could be. I mean, but that's an interesting, like that whole thing. That could actually another episode,
Another
right? Like
whole
a
episode just
whole
on finding your
episode.
purpose.
Because the thing is, I think that part of the problem is that people are seeking things simply to seek, when in fact their purpose has been in front of them the whole time.
Yeah, I know. Yep.
You know,
Guilty as charged.
right? So it's or find okay, well, what is my purpose? I already told you that everybody wants to know why am I here, and I really wanted to know why is here, but that's another conversation for another day.
Right.
That was more interesting to me, that
Mhm.
that question.
That question.
But I mean, I think finding your purpose is like such a double-edged sword, right? Because the truth is, it depends on what you need in your life, right? Like, to do this work is not for the faint of heart. Not because you can't be good at the work, not because you can't be, not that you can't be successful at the work, but it is really hard to make a living at this work,
Hmm. That's true.
right? Um, and there are, I mean, I every time I see somebody that does really, really well and they say, just do what I do, and you can be like me and make the six figures or
Mhm.
whatever it might be. I think about how in Mary Kay Cosmetics, so it turns out it was a stepping stone for me to interact with somebody altogether different.
Sure.
But I did do it for 5 minutes. I don't know why. I'm not a salesperson. I just needed to be there for another reason. But if you look at there, there are the people that drive the pink Cadillacs,
Yep.
right? They're really good at it, and they tell people, oh, if you just do this, you can be this, and they do make six figures. They make a quarter of a million, maybe a half a million, but they have hundreds of people under them that don't make it.
Mm-mm. Nope.
So just doing what I tell you to do doesn't mean you're going to be successful, or doesn't
There's
mean you're going to
so
make a
many other
living, right?
variables, right?
Right. I mean,
Do you have the
it's
same joy of talking to people as I do? Do you have the same broad network that I did, right? So
and the network, that's huge,
it's like
right?
most of it, actually, I think.
Yeah, the network is huge. The knowledge is huge. And nowadays, the tech savvy,
Yeah, that's right.
right?
Yep.
If you are not technically inclined nowadays, I mean, I
It's
spent
hard to
an
run a business without that.
it is. I spent an hour. uh, for some reason, people reach out to me for help, technical help. I don't know why, because I don't really put it out there. that I ever was any kind of a technical person in a past life. But I spent an hour on Zoom, on Messenger with this woman who was trying to figure out a Facebook group. And she wanted to know how do I add an admin to a Facebook group? And I was like, well, this is where you go and this is where you go. And she's like, well, I don't see it. I don't see that. I don't have that. What do you mean you don't have that? Everybody has that. It's the same. Turns out she was talking about a Facebook page.
I was just going to say, I bet she was on a page rather than a
She
group.
was, and but it took me an hour to figure it out.
Sure.
What was going on. And I was like, well, you can't just add an admin to a Facebook page. You have to, you know what I mean? Like I've done all of the above, so I'm familiar with it. But so the point is, now we got to go back to what resonates with us. Finding your purpose, again, make your life exciting, more exciting and interesting. I'm not sure. I mean, I love what I do. I love that I found my purpose. Maybe it would make me feel amazing when I first figured it out, but then I would be freaked the hell out because how am I going to eat? Right?
Mm-hmm.
Like there's so much there. So I'm not sure that one 100% resonates with me.
All right. It does very much resonate with me. So I'll put that as a yes for me then.
Okay. Now this one does though. The next one is take risks. This is all about your comfort zone. Get outside your comfort zone. Where does growth live?
Yeah, on the edges.
Outside your outside your comfort zone. And it's really interesting. So I think I've told you when I work with people, you see things in concentric circles.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I sort things out, intuitively by reading the energy, by the person, their comfort zone, and then their possibility field, and their probability field, which is always bigger than their possibility field. The possibility to me is what is possible based on their current state. Right?
Okay, sure.
But the possibility field is always outside the comfort zone. And so working with the person to get them to expand the edges of that comfort zone, right, to include some more of the possibility field is an interesting endeavor because you have to convince people they can do what they can actually do. Like you are more powerful than you believe you are.
Yeah.
You don't need, in fact, it's so funny. I was working with somebody and this person was one of those, we've talked about teachers that hide in the realm of student. Yeah. I said, I don't know why, but my guides are showing me that they're kicking over a stack of books. They're just kicking over a stack of books. She said, that's really interesting because I have a stack of books on the floor next to my bed. I said, well, they're trying to tell you to get away from the books because you have enough information to share. So I think taking risks and getting out, that totally resonates with me because remember the first time you did a reading that was like spot on,
yes,
or the first time you got an intuitive hit that was spot on and you were like, wow, this is freaking amazing.
Yes, I do remember that.
So
and the only way I would have gotten that if I had taken the risk to say, yes, I will do a reading for you. Exactly. I will get out of my comfort zone.
Exactly right. Because, we could, I am here to admit that I could very easily be a hermit. Like I could shop on Amazon and stay in my house and probably not go anywhere.
Yep.
Although I'd probably get a little stir crazy. Yeah, you probably don't want to know me if I do that. But anyway, the point is, if you can close your mind, not close your mind, close your eyes and visualize these circles, yourself and your comfort zone. And sometimes I can get people to get close to the edges and they say they can feel the little zap, the little like static or electricity at the edges,
Yeah.
But then if you sit in that static, it's actually a little exciting, it's a little there's so much outside there. You can always jump back into your comfort zone, right? Like
Sure,
you don't have to
stay out there.
you don't have to stay out there, but the more you go out there, right, the larger your comfort zone gets. It's like when I told you I was afraid of the airport. Why was I afraid? I'm not afraid to fly. I was afraid of getting lost in the airport. And somebody told me, well, you read English, you speak English, you can't get lost in the airport. I was like, oh. So when I let go of that,
Mhm.
now I love the airport.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. So, I mean, because you know you're going to go somewhere, which is cool.
Can I throw in a Stephen Wright joke here a minute?
Sure. of
I was
course.
listening to Stephen Wright, comedian, the other day. He says, this is about taking risks and how you feel when you take risks. He says, someone asked me the other day, how are you? And I said, well, when you're on a chair and you lean back on a chair and you're on two legs and you're just about to fall, but you catch yourself. I feel like that all the time.
That's amazing. I think, yep, I can get behind that, but I think, you need a little break from that now and then too.
Yes.
But yes, take risks. Absolutely resonates with me. Okay, the next one, live in the moment. Now, this person says live in the moment and be spontaneous are two different things. I mean, I kind of see them as the same, but I'm not great at spontaneous. I love spontaneous, but I'm not great at being spontaneous.
Mhm.
Like, I don't know. I mean, I need to think that out. I need to think that through.
Yep.
You want me to leave a voicemail? Hang on, I gotta hang up and call back again.
Call
'cause
back
I
so I
gotta
can
figure
think
out
it
what I'm gonna
through.
say.
I've done that. That's so
Yeah.
funny. That is so funny.
Yeah. So I'm not, so I don't know, maybe being spontaneous and living in the moment really are two different things. Maybe living in the moment is just about being present and paying attention to what's going on
Yeah,
around you.
I'm real big on that. Being mindful of the present. Spontaneity sometimes works and sometimes doesn't.
Yeah, right.
Funny story. I was in downtown Chicago a number of years ago, and my wife and I were walking down the street, and we were, I think, walking back to. We just were planning to go back to the hotel and finish the day. And we walked by a theater, and out of the blue, I said, "Whatever's playing." Oh, because there were a bunch of people lined up, and the doors had just opened. And I said, "Whatever's playing right now, let's buy a ticket and go right now," not knowing what it is. And it turned out to be a marvelous play. It was actually a live theater, and it
Oh,
was a really,
nice.
yeah, it was really, really interesting. That's so not me. Like, we research the 10 top possible theaters and know which groups and you do your pros and cons spreadsheet. And
Right,
so
right.
the spontaneity was really, really fun.
See,
Now,
now you have a really good memory of that. So
yeah,
what would it take to get you to do that again?
I'd have to plan for it.
I know, right? See? Like, I mean, I'm good with that, right? Like, okay, let's go take a trip somewhere close that's not expensive and just do it all spontaneously.
On the
Like
fly.
like you know where you're going, right? You plan where you're going, you plan when you're coming back, you got the flights are booked, but in the middle you just do
Go.
whatever opens up to you. I can live with that.
That would be cool. That would be a fun way to do a trip.
Right? Right? I'm not really sure. Like we're planning a trip. Well, we're not in the actual planning stages. We're just in the we've agreed to go stage,
Mhm.
but to Scotland and to Europe, a long one. Like I
Oh,
want to go for like 3 weeks.
oh,
Um,
that's
I
just,
know,
yeah,
amazing, right? But I
wow.
want to see the Isle of Skye, and I want to go here, and I want to go there, and I want to do this, and I want to do that. So I think that there may be room for some spontaneity in there,
You
but
know
I
what?
I
We've
think
done that where we've said, okay, this particular day we're not going to plan anything. We're going to see what comes up. So you got three, like on a week trip, you might have 3 or 4 days where you've actually planned stuff specifically, and then the other 2 or 3 days are like, let's just see what shows up. And you end up at a farmer's market, or you end up at a new restaurant that just opened or something. So that's the kind of
see,
thing
I
that,
think that's wonderful.
yeah.
So, okay. So actually, I'm going to say spontaneous, and living in the moment both resonate with me.
Indeed. Yep.
Indeed, I'm going to go with that. Now, here's the next one. There's two more. The next one is make friends, and I'm going to go totally resonates with me.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I was not good for that. For a long time, I was like, yeah, I'm good. Like, I have one friend. I have Linda. I'm good. Like, it's all good. And then I met you, and I met a few other people, and I'm like, oh, okay, well, this is all right. You can expand, you can, it's cool. You get some insight, different people give you different ideas and have different ways of interacting with you. So I think that a lot of people might have trouble with this one because I think there's a lot of people out there that, drama, and, don't trust. I pretty much go with my gut with people, and I always have.
Yep.
Like my whole life I have. So, there are people that, there's even people in our circle that I know a lot of people like that I'm like, yeah, okay, not me, not my cup of tea.
Right.
Because they are not who they present themselves to be. Right.
There's something else behind that. Yep.
I can see something that other people don't see. And I have never in 64 years been wrong.
That's cool.
Maybe once, but I'm not going to confirm or deny that one because I don't know for sure.
Mm-hmm.
The only reason I'm saying maybe is because I don't know for sure. But otherwise, I've never been wrong. Never.
I have been right and then acted against that gut feeling anyway.
Oh, yeah.
Boy, did I pay for that.
That's really bad when you do that because you let them in further, for some reason. Like, yeah.
Yep.
So making friends could actually make your life more interesting and exciting. I can say that resonates with me. What about you?
So I think yes, with a little asterisk, meaning to vet those friends well.
Carefully, right?
Carefully,
like, and go with your gut, right?
Right.
The more, no matter what, okay, this is a lesson, folks. So anybody that's listened this far, no matter how you have developed your intuition or what you've developed it to do, in other words, you're a card reader, so you've developed your intuition to work with the cards, right?
Yep.
Or you're an energy worker, so you've developed your intuition to be able to assess a person's energy and work on that person.
Mm-hmm.
The intuition works everywhere. Like, I can't watch a damn game show without knowing who wins. I swear it every time, like always.
That's so cool.
I know, right? It's kind of crazy. So go with your gut. When your gut is telling you something, listen, because your gut knows. And what's the worst that could happen if your gut is telling you to cut someone off or say no?
Right.
No biggie.
Right. Yeah.
Right? Like,
yep.
Just be cautious. Anyway, now
I like that though. I love.
Yeah.
I mean, just one more quick thing.
Yeah.
The longer I live, the further along I get in life, the more I realize that the joy of my life comes from the cool people that I've met and my dear friends that are around me.
Truth, right? Like that. There's a lot of joy in this conversation.
Yep.
There's joy in some of the other things that we do, the other groups that we're in. Like totally.
100%.
So, all right. So here's the last one. I think you're gonna. I don't think I'm gonna have to ask you if you think it resonates with me. This one is be authentic. Be your authentic self.
That's Angie's middle name.
It is what it is, right?
Right? Yes.
I mean, because this is my feeling, and yes, it totally resonates with me. I'm authentic. I am authentically me. Mm-hmm. I am loud. I'm a bull in a china shop. I tell the truth. Sometimes I struggle with compassion. Sometimes I struggle with how do I put it? I struggle with that. I get it. Why don't you?
Yep. Right.
I
Right.
struggle with
Yep.
that. And I've worked hard on it, all of those things in the last, 6 or 8 years, whatever. But I feel like if people like you when you're your authentic self,
Mhm.
or they don't like you when you're your authentic self, good,
Right.
cool,
You've got
because
the right. Yeah. You got the
right?
answer. Yep.
You don't have any persona to keep up. You
How
don't have
exhausting, right? How
right,
exhausting.
right? Like, and it's really interesting, like, and it's really funny because here's a trend that I'm noticing in people being authentically themselves that doesn't resonate with me. And I don't know where you stand on this, but I think it's a great part of this conversation. And this is the last one, and we'll move on to your list.
All right.
I am not a fan of all the F bombs everywhere.
Yep.
Now, I use them
Yep.
appropriately,
Mm-hmm.
but when I'm putting myself out on screen, or when I'm talking to clients, or I'm talking, in a professional setting,
Yep.
I don't use it, and I don't record it. And there are very few people that do. When I hear it, that it doesn't make me uncomfortable. Isn't that interesting?
Interesting. So let me throw one name out there: Colette Baron Reed.
I don't listen to her too much because
Oh.
she's a little bit like sandpaper to me.
Oh. Okay. Interesting. So that's that whole, you know, gritty F-bomb lady vibe is what she's throwing off. So I was
Yeah.
wondering if that.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I mean, I love her decks. I love
Yeah.
her work. Her
Yep.
goddess deck is amazing, and it's a big part of my toolbox. But I try to listen to her, and I don't do well with it. I
Interesting.
usually wind up
Okay.
shutting her off.
Well,
Wait,
maybe
and
that's
and
because
it's
it's the whole package, though, right? That's part of the
and it
package that probably doesn't really resonate with you.
could be. I mean, and I don't put. I mean, I know I'm gritty and I'm loud, and I'm a lot of those things, but I don't know. I don't know. Now
Hmm.
there is one Slim Sherry, she's called. She uses the F word very well, and she does not bother me.
Hmm.
So I don't know. I don't know. So, but for me, be authentic, whatever it is. I love it for you, right? You
Right.
can love it for me. That doesn't mean you have to love me, but you
Right.
can love my authenticity for me.
That's true. No one ever says, Angie is putting up a front, right? Never.
Never,
No.
never, no, never, because I don't. I don't.
Right.
I don't. I
Right.
don't
Don't have
have the
time for
energy
that.
to keep it up, right? Exactly. I don't have time for it. So, but I mean, sometimes I think, because stuff comes to me. I think you're pretty authentic. I
I
mean,
I would agree.
I think that authenticity doesn't mean necessarily loud and in your face,
Right.
right?
What you
I
see is
think
what you get.
authentic is right, is just who you are and
Yep.
showing people who you are. And you have a level of compassion and appreciation for people that I would strive to,
Hmm.
right? You
And
really do.
right back at you, you have a level of like, this is the line and we're not crossing it that I would
Yeah.
like to be able to get to.
Yeah,
Right.
right? Like,
The
so
boundaries. You've got those boundaries that I'm like, I keep pushing past. I keep letting people push past my boundaries, and I wish I could be a little bit more. No more.
yeah, and the bad thing about that is, the minute you let somebody beyond one of your boundaries, they're like busting out all over the
Right.
place.
Right.
I will never forget that man's face, because I told you about the rule. If a job makes me
If it makes
cry,
you
I'm
cry,
out.
you're out. Yep.
Out. I'm out. And
Yep.
when that guy, and he said something nasty to me, and I could feel it. And they started, and I was like, "Oh, all right then." And I go, "Here you go." He said, "What is this?" I said, "It's my checks." He said, "Why?" I said, "Because I'm leaving." And he said, "You can't leave." I said, "Oh, yes, I can." Watch me.
And that was
Here's the
that.
checks. Hand them over to whoever you need to. I am leaving. And I left, and I never looked back. Never looked back. but nobody ever in a job ever made me cry,
Mhm.
ever,
That's-
even in places where they made other people cry. So it's really, really important that you, when you create these boundaries, right, you stand firm.
Yep.
Now, they don't have to be ridiculous.
Right.
You know, it's just what are you willing to tolerate for yourself?
Yep.
You know? So anyway, so yeah, so I would say that list did pretty well. Most
I
of it
think so.
resonated
Yeah,
with me.
I think I would say probably most of them resonate with me, and I think one less resonated with you. But that's a
Yeah.
good list.
Yeah, I think so. I think that was a really good list. I found it on Pinterest. I guess I should try to find it again and put a link in the comments on the
Okay,
show.
that's a great idea.
Yeah, right. Anyway, okay, moving on because oh man, this took way longer than I expected.
Okay,
So
so
we're going to go to your list and we're going to get through it. And if we go over a little bit, you know what?
Yep.
We'll just try not to.
All right.
I'll just try not to talk so much.
That's fine. And if we need to bleed this over into next week's show, so be it, right?
Oh yeah, there you go.
All right. So mine is called. It's from a blog post from someone that I read occasionally. A Witch's Guide to Surviving Christmas. 6 witches give their best advice on how to survive the holidays with the family.
Oh, nice. I like it.
I
Park
do
your
too.
broom right at the front door.
Right.
have it ready waiting and gassed up
Yep.
so you can split real quick.
All right. So each of these contributing witches have given some advice for this situation. So the first one is the author, and she gives 2 pieces of advice. Her first one is clean, 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 cleaning physically and then cleansing the house of weird energy of just that when you have people coming over, getting the everything in line so that you don't, even though they're going to bring their weird energy with them, it's not going to affect you as much. So I was like, okay, yeah, I suppose. I mean, if I had family members coming over that I didn't really get along with, well, would I do a house cleansing? Maybe.
Well, you know
Certainly after they
me.
leave.
Yeah, you definitely, want to manage the energy. But, people don't realize that you can cleanse the energy in your home. And I don't know why, but I don't like this word cleanse. But whatever. It was simply by opening the windows. Like, it doesn't need to be a real crazy thing, or you don't need to stink up the joint with sage.
Right.
So that's number one. So when it comes to the home, you definitely need to clear it out, right? For real. I get that. Open the garage door and, let them people take that stuff with them when they go. But for you, balanced energy is resilient energy, and resilient energy is less reactive.
Balance.
So balance.
That resonates. That definitely resonates.
Balance. Make sure you're grounded, you're connected. You anchor your connection from the earth to the ethers so that you are grounded, centered, balanced, whatever that means for you.
Mm-hmm.
And that is what resonates with me. Okay, moving on.
All right, cool. Number 2, she says the next piece of advice is if you are missing a loved one, invite them to have a seat at the table. So invite their spirit.
Oh,
I kind of like that. That's kind of sweet. Yeah.
I love that. I know people. Now, I think that could go 2 ways, right? Because I think that people could take that too far.
Right.
I love it though. I mean, I love, keeping the head of the table open because, grandpa's gone or dad is gone or mom is gone or whatever. I love it. But I also know that those on the other side will be there anyway.
They'll be there anyway. Yeah, that's true.
And they want you to get on with your life.
True. Yeah. If you're stuck in the past.
Right. If you're stuck, if you're doing that because you can't get over the grief, then it's not a good idea. That's like having a connection with a medium that can communicate with this particular loved one you never give yourself the opportunity to live life without them then. And that's what you need to do to be able to move forward. So I like it both ways. I think it does resonate and I love it.
Yeah, I
I
do too.
but they are there anyway. I
Yep.
mean, like ask them to knock over a glass or something. I think that'd be a lot of fun.
Right. Or flicker the lights a little bit.
Yeah, exactly.
That's cool. Okay, so the first guest witch that she has on her blog says that what she likes to do to get through the holidays with Crazy Family is a mojo bag. And she says this: a mojo bag is a pouch that contains one or more magical items of significance. Think of it as a manifestation kit. So she says herbs, crystals, pendants, photos, notes, oils, and just to have this manifestation bag with you on your person, like, that's cool.
I like it, and let me tell you why. I'm going to tell you why, because that's what I do.
That's what we do. That's why we're here.
Right? These things are just inanimate objects.
Sure.
Okay.
True.
But when you put them together in a mojo bag, what you are doing is anchoring your intention. The crystal means something, the oil means something, the loved one, the picture means something. They all mean something. So you're anchoring your physical body and your spirit to the intention to have good, quiet, calm, and centered time, right?
I love that.
Now
that's the key right there.
And now you have the bag, which is a tactile reminder of that intention. So I love that. I love it.
I had never thought of that, and I might just do that. Yep.
Yeah.
Little bag in my pocket. Have a couple of my crystals and some. I love the picture too. So picture of my dad.
And I'm going to tell you what, I don't know where I heard it because I Googled it and I couldn't find it anywhere. I don't know, but I have a financial freedom grid. I think I've told you. I have a financial freedom grid. It's a chunk of citrine, but every 6 months or so, I replace the rosemary. It's got rosemary sprigs. I just buy them in the grocery store, right? And they're really cool because they start out fresh and they dry. But putting rosemary in amongst that would help the energy of abundance for all concerned. So I would say add some rosemary. Add some rosemary to your add some rosemary to your mojo bag.
Right.
I don't know where it went. Sometimes things go, but I love it. I love that idea. It totally resonates with me.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Okay, good. All right. The next one is the next witch, guest witch. It sounds like a sandwich. She says the best way to deal with the harder side of holiday season is preparation. A journal is a great way to do the organic spells for better relationships. So two things there. One is how is having a journal for yourself and kind of preparing your thoughts and mind and so on, but also being able to journal and have some written spells or some written incantations that you can have in a journal. So it sounds like journaling and also maybe spells.
Yeah, like a grimoire, right?
Yes, right. Journaling is always a good idea, I think.
It is if you are not me and have, I don't know, 42 journals everywhere with 3 pages filled out.
3 pages written and the rest blank.
Yeah,
well, you and me both, friend.
That's pretty much how I roll. Which is not to say that journaling is a bad idea. It's just the actual physical journaling doesn't necessarily work for everyone.
True.
And that's all right, but the sad part about that is then you don't have a record, right? I think it might be nice to have journals, where you can go back and look at things and go, oh, because now I try to read these journals. It's like, well, none of this makes any damn sense because half of it's in this book, some of it's in that one. Anyway, And then the incantations, again, it's a way to anchor your intentions, right?
Yep.
So, I mean, you could totally say an incantation over the mojo bag, right?
Indeed. And maybe whisper one under your breath as the holiday family is getting out of hand.
Yeah, right. I have a good one, but I'll leave it until the end
All
because
right.
we'll see what we hear. And but there is one I like.
All right. So the next guest witch recommends the whole Epsom salt bath and preparation that way. So I don't know if you've read any of the rituals and spells that witches do. Most of the spell books talk about that purification bath, before and after a ritual. And I am just not a bath guy. I do not
No.
I
Mm-mm.
do not enjoy the bathtub. I love hot showers, but a bath, maybe that's my
I
guy thing coming out, but
no, I don't. I don't even have a bathtub.
oh, all right.
And they uh when the lady that sold our house put it on the market, she was told, "Oh, not having a bathtub, not good. Bad selling points." And I was like, "No bathtub? Yes."
Perfect. Don't have to clean it.
Right. We have a shower, don't
Yep.
get me wrong, but so I'm with you on this. I don't I first of all, so I can tell you, we've talked about Miranda. She's my guide. I either call her a healer or the white witch, or I mean, she is a white witch, so
Yep.
that's what she is. But some people witch this, don't like it, whatever. When you go through the session for cutting cords with Miranda, she takes you through, and it's pink salt bath,
Oh. Oh, wow.
but it's energetic.
Oh, of
You don't
course.
have to get in the tub, right?
Right.
Energetic, right? There's not even pink salt present. It's just the energy of pink salt, right? So, yeah, I'm gonna go like not really a thumbs up on this one. I don't want to say thumbs down to anyone because I
Yep.
think this probably resonates with some people, but for me, this is a no go.
Right. Right. And me too.
I don't have a damn bathtub anyway, so
I'm going to go with the substituted energetic bath, and I'd be all in on
yeah,
that.
right. I mean, really, honestly, if you take a shower and you just visualize all the stuff running down the drain, that's all you need. And I'll tell you something actually,
Okay. All right.
again at the end.
We got one
Um,
more. Here's the
okay,
last one.
perfect.
The last guest witch says she has two things that she takes with her on to survive Christmas, whether it's going out or whatever. Two things. Number one is she said it's a Palo Santo clearing oil blend. Yes, fine. But the other one that made me go yes, she has a very favorite tarot deck, and she'll do a 3-card pull every once in a while, just to kind of like stay in the energy of tarot. So to me, that sounds like, you know what? I think that would be great to have a one of my small tarot decks in
Yeah,
my
you could have
pocket.
one of your
My
little
little one,
pocket
yeah.
decks. Yeah. Yeah. That neither one of those are for me.
I like the tarot deck though. She says, what can I expect the energy to be like? If you know you're going to be meeting up with someone unfavorable, switch the question to ask how about their energy is going to be.
Okay, how about this? Why are we meeting with somebody unfavorable?
It's a relative that you're going over to a relative's house. You've already agreed to do that.
Oh, I don't talk to those people.
Oh.
I don't have a problem with that. I just don't talk to them. I do not have an issue with that at all.
No,
I am cordial, but I do not talk to them.
Right.
I usually talk to my husband, which is fine.
Right.
So no, okay. All right. So let's look at it from an energetic perspective. You're going to someone else's house. Honestly, I walk in with the intention that all the energy is going to be favorable.
Mm-hmm.
So I wouldn't do that reading. Now, I wouldn't mind doing a reading. How's my day going to go or whatever.
Yep.
I don't have anything against cards. You know that. But I think it's better to be like what is that? Proactive, you know?
Yeah.
The energy is going to be favorable. My contribution to the energy is going to be favorable, right? Like
Yeah.
that's what I think, because I think people react to the shit. See, I just said I don't like people that do that, and then I say it.
Maybe it was appropriate at this point.
Yeah, right. I think people react to the crap that's in the room, right?
Mm-hmm,
And so if you walk in, once again, loaded for bear, expecting an unfavorable situation, what are you going to find, right?
A bear.
So, exactly. So I think you walk in, I expect the interactions to be favorable. Once in a while, I go to my niece's house and they have all these kids and it gets so loud, and then I have to go because it's like, I just can't.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Because but now the kids are older, so they're grown up, so they're not so teenagery.
Yep.
Well, but they yell like
it's
not like chatty. I don't mind the chatty. It's the yelling that I have a hard time with. And I'm loud. Anyway.
My kid was not a yeller. He was just a quiet, introspective, happy kid from day one. So I got so lucky.
There you go.
Yep.
Perfect. Okay. So here's my tip.
All right.
If you're having people to your house, above the door, take 2 chunks of black tourmaline, 1 on each corner. Probably going to have to tape them or something because, unless you got a really wide.
We have a wide ledge.
Okay, if you got a wide ledge, put the black tourmaline up in the corners, and then set the intention that the energy from the black tourmaline comes down through the doorway very much like a waterfall. Black tourmaline transmutes energy. So negative energy, which is out of alignment, I don't believe in negative energy, but out of alignment energy, energy that's not in alignment with whatever situation you're trying to create, becomes transmuted and washes away as people walk through the door. Genius.
Sweet. That's enough.
I mean, I've given people that exercise without the crystals for like work.
Yeah.
When they leave work, wash away all the stuff from work. Before you even leave the building, you're washing the stuff away by doing this visualization. It's a very powerful visualization. So
I like that.
There you go.
That's helpful.
Wow. All right. Well, I think we did some stuff.
Yep.
Here.
We did some great stuff. Absolutely.
We did some stuff and we found some stuff that resonates with us. So that is fantastic. And I guess that's it for this show.
That is it for this show. Tarot Time is up next.
Yep. Yeah. Well, we're going to film Tarot Time next.
Correct.
And then it'll get released on Tarot Tuesday.
That's right.
Probably. You know how it goes. Anyway. All right. Well, thank you, folks. If you have listened this far, we really, really, really appreciate you. We hope that you got some information from these lists that we found. Just that will help you maybe make your life more exciting or make your holidays more enjoyable. I mean, fantastic. I just really wish you all the best, and we really, really are grateful for you being here with us. If you wouldn't mind reaching down and hitting that little subscribe button, we'd really appreciate it. And then if you hit the like, apparently the YouTube algorithm really appreciates that one.
It does.
So
I would agree with that.
We thank you very much for joining us, and we will see you for Tarot Time.